All right. All right. So we have an issue going on right now with Twitter. And this is already something that was already outlined by fellow VTuber Monica Cineroll. Basically, what's going on is there's this edit button. And this edit button is now at free reign for anybody who is able to just use uh basically it's anybody who's able to use this, they will just go ahead and just fucking do it. It doesn't matter what art you upload, doesn't matter how you end up uploading it. The fact that there is an edit button now, as far as like altering pictures and artwork, is very much unacceptable for a platform that honestly fucking sucks. Twitter has gone nothing but downhill, and there are reasons as to why I believe people should stop using Twitter. Now, this is something that is going to go at the beginning of the other video that I was working on that I have actually finished. So, and I do, I hate AI. I do talk a little bit about Section 230, but there is a good thing that Monica did bring up when she was talking about in her video. Where's the fucking regulation to this? There is no regulations. What's going on? Like what are we doing here? We're introducing AI into places that it has no regulation for, right? And this is different from like stuff like, the stuff Videl does with like Neurosama, or like a simple program like XR Animator that's being used as a tool to help with hand tracking and face tracking, because it doesn't collect data, it just does what it has to do. With generative AI, what it does is it collects data, and it also, without people's consent, can alter artwork and music. That's the huge difference between an AI tool and an an AI tool that is used in good faith versus an AI tool that is not used in good faith, like ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, a bunch of those that are basically used to just, rampage the internet, basically destroy multiple things. And this isn't the first time we've seen something like this happen. Especially when we are having to deal with multiple incidents like this in the past. It makes no like a sense in order for any of this to happen at all. And it honestly just sucks. It sucks beyond belief. We're not letting people, because there are alternatives people can use, right? And now there's a situation where people are starting to see their images. There's an edit image button on somebody's posts when they're an artist. Originally, Twitter was a place where artists can go and people can also promote their content. Basically, they were able to upload their stuff. People would join their streams. People would also, retweet and post and like their content on Twitter. Now, being anti-AI is completely fine. Don't let these people try to say, oh, we are, stupid, and we're gonna go ahead and just say that this is something that we're gonna have, try to make justifications for a system that's already destroying multiple things. And we can already prove this because there's multiple articles that state that it is causing more pollution with these AI data centers. It's now causing more issues immediately. Like, this didn't just happen, this didn't take like a week or a month. This happened immediately. We're starting to take IRL pictures of people in their photos. IRL photos of people in their pictures, right? It's starting to do that to where it's starting to cause problems. And it's immediately becoming an issue. And it sucks. It absolutely sucks. And nobody should have to deal with that at all. And I hate it. I don't think people should have to deal with that at all. It's absolutely garbage and it's bullshit. Yeah. But there are other ways to get past this, of course. But one of the main problems that we're having right now with, to get back on track, one of the main problems that we're having right now with Twitter and everything is it's causing a lot of problems with people in their art, with people in their IRL photos, because people are, without people's consent, altering images, not only art, but people who are IRL as well. Which, if you're getting an IRL photo and you post your IRL photos on public social media, you're kind of fucked there either way. But this has been a thing like for a while. Like Facebook sort of normalized this thing to where people are like understanding that, hey, this is something that, this is something that's existed for a little bit, but we shouldn't have to deal with a bunch of like bullshit when it comes to random ass companies. Like I was saying, like I'm going to be saying in the future segment of this video, that these big companies don't give a fuck about you. They do not care. All they care about is how they can maximize profits, how much they can show investors that, hey, we've added this new feature, or we made this feature more accessible. So apparently this feature has been available for a while now. Oh, let's make this feature more accessible and add an edit button. That's assuming you have it, and it only works if you have a Grok. If you block a Grok, it never shows up. By the way, if you block Grok on Twitter, it will never show up. However, if you don't have block, and most people do not have Grok blocked, people that you do use Grok will be more likely to click on somebody's art and then edit it on that website. And that includes any and all past art, thumbnails, anything you've uploaded that's just a regular PNG or JPEG, they could go in and edit. And they could do it maliciously, which is a problem. I know normally that I talk about like Linux content, about being open source and stuff, but sometimes when you have a situation like this from a company that doesn't give a shit about you, well, it kind of reminds me of what Microsoft was doing when they were, I don't know, introducing Copilot, trying to say, oh, use Copilot for everything, right? These companies don't want you to do things for yourself. They don't want you to learn how to do things for yourself. They want you to depend on this AI so they can say, hey, society has kind of changed and we kind of need AI to function. We need to make sure AI can be used to, in other words, basically they want to make sure they want to try to make any sort of justification to say that AI is worth it. AI definitely is not worth using at all. You could go completely, if the world was fine without AI, listen to this. If the world was fine without AI a couple years ago, in the sense of generative AI, right? Like, yeah, AI might have existed in like its weaker form, right? People were making fun of Will Smith and his spaghetti, because it was all fucking bad and shit. But if people had existed just fine and used tools just fine without AI, without vibe coding, without all this assistive bullshit that's not actually assisting anybody, it's creating more problems than what they are worth. You see where I'm getting at? We don't need this. We don't need any of this AI. YouTube, we don't need any of that AI stuff. We don't need any of it to be forced onto us. And if anything, it shouldn't be opt-out. It should be opt-in. And most users who would have been on the website wouldn't even opt into it, right? That's the main thing. That's the reason, that's the way all these companies make all their stuff opt-in. I mean, opt-out, right? They make it all opt-out. Which is absolutely bullshit, because nobody should have to deal with it. At all. I hate it. Nobody should deal with it. I think people should eventually stop using Twitter. Now, some people will not end up stopping using Twitter because they're like, oh, it's where the people are at, right? Well, it's now getting to the point to where, yeah, the people are going to be there for a little bit until they're no longer there. People are already starting to move. This is like one of like the third or fourth time people have been moving from Twitter to Blue Sky. And now, since this update has happened, all the prominent artists are probably going to end up deleting all their art off Twitter, even though it probably won't matter because Twitter will probably have all their images already trained into the machine like months ahead of time, which is what I'm thinking what's happening. So it might be better for you to either delete or private your account and just never never like post or re-upload there. And just start focusing on other places like, other places that are not like AI dependent. Like I would not recommend Threads. I would not recommend that place at all. You can make an account there to save your name, but I wouldn't make a place there. I wouldn't, you might be able to put it on Instagram, right? You might be, Instagram's like a different kind of site. I wouldn't do that. Probably the best sites to put that on would be Mastodon, which is a open source Twitter. And you also have Blue Sky, which is basically Twitter from 2014. Old ass Twitter. I don't remember when Twitter was made, so don't quote me on that. But it's an old ass Twitter basically clone, and it is a better place to post your stuff until it's not, which you have to be understandable about that. The cool thing about Mastodon though is there are multiple instances. You can post your art on different instances. The only issue is it's so fucking spread out. It's kind of hard to find everybody. So you might want to be on mastodon.social, vt.social, mastodon.club or something like that. Like whatever the fuck is the most populated one, go onto that one if you want. And then you can have like maybe a lot of eyes seeing your stuff, which is really good. So there's that. For now, YouTube is okay, I guess, to post your art during posts, because you can go to your YouTube posts on your YouTube channel and post your art there. You could post images there, which is something that you could do. You could do this on Twitch as well by posting this into your reels. So you could post it into your reels for your art as well. Now, if it's too spicy and stuff, you might want to consider the other options like Blue Sky and Mastodon. Those are probably better options for you to go to anyways. Because, if you're going to Blue Sky, you can post all your art there. Especially, for people who are like moving over due to all this bullshit. And then you also have the possibility of using vt.social or a Mastodon instance in order to post your art as well. So like, there are options. I just don't recommend posting your stuff on Twitter anymore, because people making, doing the, the edit button, like it's already happening to people where somebody ends up posting their art, they edit the image, and then it ends up changing into whatever garbage it decides to spit out. In theory, it's supposed to be like, oh, this is a assistive way to create art. Like, it's not creating art. We've already established that this does not create art. This defaces art into a... Actually, this is going to make a lot of sense when I say it, too. And it's probably going to wake some motherfuckers up, too, if you believe it or not, right? AI, when you are AI generating art, and you are taking somebody else's image, and you are uploading it to their platform, and you're feeding it into the beast, the machine, you are not creating art. That is something that you are not doing. You are defacing somebody's art. You are stealing somebody's art. You are taking their art and you are essentially shredding it, saying that this doesn't look good. This is worthless. I don't respect the artist. Let me go ahead and throw it into this machine so I can make it artificially look better. There's no natural ability that was done. There was no skill to be had. All they did was either type in a prompt or chuck an image into a machine to spit out whatever thing they typed in. That is not art. That is destruction. That is defacing people's art. That is disrespectful to anybody. And if anybody who's a VTuber does this, you're also disrespecting the artists that also work on your model, that work on variations of your model, work on art. Do not use Grok. Do not use any sort of AI art. Do not use any sort of generative AI music or art. They are, for one, being used for places like big companies. There's a whole reason as to why we had a RAM shortage, right? It's because these companies are paying to essentially destroy the earth at this point, because these plants produce more pollution in a month than what a car plant would do in a year, which is fucking crazy, right? It's fucked up. And that's all I gotta say. It's just completely fucked up. Nobody should have to deal with this at all. And I don't like it. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And I know people that I talk to more than often than not that also hate it. So don't do it. And I have more reasons on like what your alternatives could be as far as like uploading your art in general in the next segment. But this has affected somebody that I know, and I want you to hear a segment of what she has to say.
This is a video I never wanted to make. VTubers. We all know them. They're all 40-year-old men behind avatars. Or they're super ugly and stuff. They're super ugly, guys. VTubers now on Twitter.com. I finally get it. After all my years of being on the internet, I finally get it. Because I think I get it. I finally get it. After all my years of being on the internet, I finally get it. Why it fucking sucks to be a chick. Oh, and it always sucked, don't get me wrong, but it just got a whole lot worse. And look, I get it, not everyone can handle the boobs being on a model. Whoa, oh, breasts, oh no. Oh no. But I can't explode IRL. I can't turn into a car. But you know what I can do? I can hide myself. I can hide my beautiful face from having artificially generated explicit images of me all over the internet. I will always rather have people goon to my avatar than to IRL me. Because that's disgusting. Yes, I'm pissed off. If I seem pissed off, I think I have every right to be. At this point, you can't even make fun of OnlyFans girls anymore. Because why the fuck wouldn't you anymore? If people could just artificially generate porn of you from a selfie, why not, you know? So if you ever wonder, like,
to be some sort of to bring some sort of transformity to this, what she just said should put chills down your fucking spine. This is a very real situation, and I'm glad she made a video on this. This is a very real problem that we are going to be dealing with, and Monica was one of the first people that I'm aware of, that she made people aware of, that has to deal with this due to that edit button. This is probably not the first time it's happened to somebody, but she's definitely one of them. And it's not good to see your identity, like your IRL self, your identity. Like, it's different than VTubing, right? VTubing, it could be, you know, like, VTubing, so you can make porn and it's different, but it's still under the same premise that do not use generative AI for anything, and that includes VTubers, that includes like IRL people especially, because that's basically harassment. At that point, it's harassment. And if people try to say that it's not harassment, well, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. I just think you're fucking stupid because you don't understand what harassment is. Because Monica didn't want any of this. She did not want to deal with any of this stuff at all. This is one of the reasons as to why Twitter has gone downhill, because they've been making decisions that people have never asked for, and it's caused people to start to go in an uproar and finally get why generative AI is fucking garbage. Now, some people might have thought like, oh, it's just AI, it's just a new thing kids are into, like all that stuff. Like, it doesn't matter. At this point in time, this is a fucking problem, and it's not okay.
she does OnlyFans. Yeah, because losers kept generating porn of her.
So she starts talking about that, which is a very real situation. Make it to another part, so I'm not trying to watch the whole video. I will link her video into the description as well. But she also says this. This is a huge thing.
Angry, like genuinely angry. I know what a lot of people are going to say. Mommy, you showed yourself in the video. This doesn't make it any better for you. Look, people already have access to my photos. I can't do anything against that. It's too late. The least I can do is be a sacrificial lamb so that people can talk about it. Don't stop talking about it, please. Because you know what the worst part about this is? There's no limit to what this can do.
It's a fucking problem. Because if there's no limit, and they have not imposed limits onto what AI can do, this is a huge fucking problem for everybody. This is a huge issue for everybody everybody who has ever posted anything on the internet that is like on Twitter, right? And this isn't just limited to stuff you post on Twitter. This is stuff where somebody can go on, you know, another website, take your art, post it without your consent, and then they can edit it. Then they can fucking edit it, and then they can just do whatever the fuck they want. It has created a much bigger issue in the whole AI sucks situation, right? It has no limits. There were no self-imposed limits onto this grok shit, which I think should end up leading them into a class action lawsuit by anybody who was affected by this, which could literally mean everybody on the whole platform. And if it's a class action lawsuit, I think Twitter should get shut down. Like, I low-key think it should just fucking go away. Twitter has not done anything good for anybody. It's actually went from a platform that was really welcoming to people who were coming from Facebook at the time. They were like, oh yeah, we love people. And then it changed leadership to go into Elon Musk. Elon Musk immediately started making bad decisions. Starts firing everybody. Starts fucking making all these bad decisions. Starts implementing AI that nobody fucking asked for. Like what are we doing here? This is destroying everybody. It's destroying everything. Generative AI, like, this is different from, like, you know, programs that are sort of assistive, like, you know, with hand and body tracking, for example. Like, this is very, base level stuff, right? But when you start taking into account the generative AI, when it starts to learn from it, rather than being used as a tool, and then that tool, well, I mean, and that generative AI bullshit starts to end up causing destruction in people's art, music, IRL lives. And you have malicious people who are willing to go through it all just to fucking piss people off because they like pissing people off. What they like doing. They think it's worth it. They start sending people random messages going, oh, you were drawing? Look what I did. I posted this and put this into a fucking generative bot and it fucking destroyed your artwork. Like, it's just it's dumb. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And what Monica is saying is completely valid. And what Monica is also saying is also the truth. It's straight up the truth. There's no limits to this. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if some AI tech bro decided to come out and start saying, well, actually, there is limits to this. Like, I don't care. It has caused destruction and pain. AI, all this generative AI stuff was supposed to have helped people, right? Right? No, it doesn't. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help shit. It's absolutely garbage. Get rid of it. Literally, I hope the AI bubble bursts at this point. If the AI bubble were to ever burst, imagine all the bullshit that's gonna come from that. Like, it's all the bullshit's just gonna go away. It's gonna be like it never happened. And then all the companies that buy all the RAM and all the technology, they're gonna sell all their shit back to the people. All the people are gonna get all their stuff back. They're going to get, you know, it's going to help and make the economy, you know, much, I mean, not the economy, but it's going to help, you know, make the market much better for computers. And it's also going to prevent people from having to abuse AI as well. Because they'll be like, okay, well, this AI stuff didn't work. It blew up into our face. We're never doing this again. And hopefully it stays that way. But you never know, because people are fucking crazy. We went from fucking NFTs we went from crypto to NFTs to this now. What else are we going to fucking do that's stupid?
There are no...
At least crypto has a little bit of value in comparison to everything else. At least it is a currency. You can't make NFTs a currency, and you can't
safeguards on Twitter. You can sexualize anything with zero consequence.
Which is an issue. You're going to have a lot of people taking a seat when the government decides to force this ID verification on people and they start generating things they shouldn't be generating. Just saying.
Are you getting anything I'm saying? Are you getting anything I'm saying?
Take a seat.
Anything? I know exactly why other people aren't talking about this, because they're afraid of it happening to them. Well, it's already happened to me. I can't
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not afraid of it happening to me because I've already been doxxed. I don't care. What I do care about is everybody else not getting fucking in trouble with this kind of shit, because this shit's fucking garbage. Right? Like, my information's out there, and it's not gonna take, you know, it's not gonna be hard for somebody to find, of course, but like, yeah, not good. Also, stop using Google stuff. Start migrating your stuff to a different email. Google is also bad.
Something has to be done before it gets normalized. And before anyone makes the whole argument of, oh, well, it's the user that's the problem, not the artificial intelligence.
If I may say something, it is not just the user being the issue. The artificial intelligence is also the problem. AI is the issue, and the person using the AI is also the fucking issue, because they are aware that they are using that tool. Or I wouldn't even call it a tool. They are using that destructive force of nature. It's not even a destructive force of nature. It's just destroying everything. I don't know what the fuck to say about that anymore. It's just fucking garbage. I hate it. I'm fucking mad anyways.
Artificial intelligence is so absurdly stupid, you can still bypass anything. We don't have the infrastructure, the laws for this technology in modern day society.
So I was talking about this on a stream many moons ago. You might remember it. It was probably one of the Phantasy Star Online or Monster Hunter streams. I don't remember which one it was. It might have been the Mega Man stream too. There is no regulation for AI. AI needs to be regulated. This is one of the few things I wish the government would actually regulate. Like, don't regulate the internet, right? Don't regulate the whole internet. Don't make Section 230, don't be repealing that, right? Keep our privacy rights and everything like that. Talk to your representatives about that. Saying no to COSA, no to the Screen Act, no to repealing Section 230. Call your representatives. I'm actually being serious. Call your fucking representatives, because this will actually destroy the whole internet as a whole. But on the topic of AI, they should be regulating AI, since AI is stimulating money for the economy a lot more than these other things. Like, yes, it does stimulate a lot of money, but it also loses a lot of money too at the same time. So I don't really think it's worth it. But if they're going to have to use it, they need to regulate it and make sure it's not being targeting to people, because this is almost as bad as identity theft, except you're taking somebody's identity and you're altering it to your own sick and twisted fantasies. Yeah.
We aren't ready for this, nor is it actually useful in any case scenario. I have only ever seen it used in destructive capabilities. It is not used for good ever. I've only seen it be used to harm people, to be lazy. Do you get it? Do you get what I'm saying? Too long, didn't watch. VTubers use avatars to escape artificial intelligence from generating artificially generated porn non-consensually of their IRL self. Good day and happy new year.
And she was very livid when she was talking about all this stuff. This happened about 5 hours ago when she recorded it and uploaded it. You gotta understand where she's coming from. Like it would be, I'd be fucking mad if I ended up getting my IRL stuff in generative AI, right? I'm not trying to sound sexist or anything, but women are more how do I say this without sounding fucking bad? In a lot of situations, women are a little bit more vulnerable. I'm talking about women in general, okay? In most situations, women are a little bit more vulnerable on the internet, and it has been shown time and time and again that people will take advantage whenever they feel like they want to. So yeah, you can kind of see where she's coming from. It's fucked up. And it's not just that, it can happen to men too. It can happen to people who are non-identifying, and it can happen to a lot of people, right? All sorts of people. It can happen to everybody. Because what she was saying is that there is no regulations on this, and it's going to happen to everybody, right? It's absolutely bullshit. I don't like it. I think that this stuff needs to go, or it needs to at the very least be regulated to where they can go, okay, there's the certain things that the states or the governments are going to allow you to use with AI. Everything else you do is prohibited. If you continue to let your users do this, you will be facing fines and maybe even getting shut down. which is what I hope happens at some point, right? I hope that happens. Hopefully I explained it correctly, but in a lot of cases, women do, they are a little bit more vulnerable most of the time. Especially in today's day and age with like technology and stuff. We've seen multiple incidents of this happen even at TwitchCon as well. There's a lot of vulnerability when it comes to that. And you need to be more, you gotta be kind of receptive to both situations. Like, yeah, men could be vulnerable too. Like, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying it's not gonna happen to everybody, because it does happen to everybody, right? But in this specific situation with this example, Monica was the one that was affected. And she was obviously mad about it. And I don't think AI has a place anywhere. Generative AI has no place on the internet, in our lives. We don't need it in our phones. We don't need it in our TVs. If we were doing stuff 5-6 years ago, actually 2 or 3 years ago, way before all this stuff blew up, can you imagine? Can you imagine what was going, what must be going through their head at the time? Like, they must have been flabbergasted. They must have been like, what's going on? Like what, why is this happening? More people need to talk about this. This is not okay. And I think the solution, one of the solutions to this problem, the solution is to just leave Twitter. It is time to leave Twitter. Or it's time to reduce your time using Twitter. One of the two. But it's eventually going to ultimately lead to people leaving Twitter. And I don't know if this is done on purpose. I don't know if this is done because people don't care. Nobody should have to deal with something like this, especially when we have people doing stuff maliciously. So, listen to the other half of the video where I talk about the places you could actually upload your art to. This is more of an addition to what I have witnessed today. I didn't even plan to do this, but, we need to have more visibility on this. And hopefully I explained everything correctly. Sometimes it might, it might come across where I might say something, but it actually means something else. You keep that in mind. Don't think too, politically about it. But the overall message is here. And I want to make sure people have at least a base level understanding on what is going on. And it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. If anybody tries to say it's going to get better, they are lying to you. Anyways, this is Kyle and Echo. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the video. Bye. Well, I'll be seeing you soon, but yeah. Hi, I'm Kyle and Echo. Happy holidays, by the way. There is a elephant in the room I have noticed a lot that is on Twitter right now. And I do want to make sure that, we are at the very least, providing you with options on how you can post your art. Now, I handle primarily Linux videos, and I primarily end up doing stuff like, being able to have stuff like that going on, especially when we are when I'm doing all these recording. So what I would at least advise moving forward is I would advise trying to, at the very least, be able to provide you with some options on how you can upload your art. I am very much somebody who is against AI. I hate AI. I hate Gen AI specifically. Now, there are some AIs that, can be considered, ethical, and it can be considered stuff that you could use. However, there are problems with that, and I can go over that in just a minute. From what I'm currently seeing here, especially when we are looking at situations like with how Twitter is handling their privacy policy right now. Well, when we take a look at their privacy policy, there's a lot of shit that's going on with it. It says your rights and grant rights in the content. And here's what it's saying. Here's what's going on. So you retain your rights to any content, including anything referenced there, and you submit, input, generate, post, display, basically whatever you post on their site, they basically automatically get the rights to it for some reason, which I think is stupid. And it says your incorporated audio, photos, and videos are considered part of the content. That also means anybody who's streaming on Twitter, all that stuff that you're streaming is also part of their content. And choosing to submit, input, create, generate, post, or display content on or throughout the services you grant NSA worldwide non-exclusive royalty-free license. Basically trying to say, fuck you, fuck your privacy rights, fuck your designs, fuck your art. We're gonna take it all. We're gonna throw it in our machine and have people spit out junk and garbage with it. And or display on throughout the services you grant as a worldwide non-exclusive royalty-free license, of course, to use, copy, reproduce, process, adapt, modify, publish, transmit, display, upload, download, and distribute such content, including anything referenced therein in any and all media or distribution methods also known or later developed for any purpose, which is rather concerning. Not to mention for use with training of our machine learning and artificial intelligence models, whether generative, another type, and to make content submitted to or through the services available to other companies, organizations, or individuals. Basically saying any art you upload, any videos you upload, anything that you have that's related to that you upload. If you stream on their platform as well, which is something that some people are missing out. Yeah, you can get Twitter Blue. Yeah, you can get paid from that. It's fine. But what's not fine is when they start taking your content that does end up getting stored on the servers. Like, they have to have some place to put your live stream at some point where they can use that to train for AI. Which somebody can confirm that, somebody can deny that. I don't care. I just know that that is along the lines of something that I would expect them to do. So don't quote me on that. I'm probably wrong. It's made with no compensation paid to you with respect to the content that you submit, post, transmit, or otherwise make available to the services as the use of the services by you hereby agreed to be sufficient compensation for content and rights herein. Which is stupid. I hate it. It's fucking it's garbage. I hate it. It is dumb. It's not something that you should even have to worry about or even deal with. It is absolutely shit. Okay, it absolutely sucks ass that they are going to be doing that to people's artwork that they end up uploading and all the stuff that they end up using. Now, what are your alternatives? Because I use Linux, and Linux is my alternative to Windows. Well, what is the alternative to somebody who uploads art? Glad you didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you anyways. The alternative to that is the elephant in the room, Blue Sky. Blue Sky does not have these brash issues that people seem to think that it has. And yeah, Blue Sky might have its own little, own little set of problems. It might have its own little set of issues on its own. However, it's still a safer place to upload your artwork than Twitter is right now. It is a safer place to upload your artwork. Plus, they are also against AI. So it's a perfect place to upload your artwork, no matter what anybody thinks about Blue Sky or how they handle certain things. Because yeah, Blue Sky may have handled some things poorly in the past, which is understandable. I can understand that. But you also have to understand that there are their own problems too, and it could definitely be its own thing, especially considering how things are being handled on its own. But that it's not the end of the world. If people are having to people are having to deal with that kind of stuff. So like, you know, especially when you know, people are, you know, actively, you know, being able to upload their artwork to a platform that's not going to disrespect them. And Blue Sky is a perfect, if not, you know, perfect platform to also upload it to. But there are other platforms as well. Blue Sky isn't the only place where you can upload your art. Because if you want to upload your art to a place that's kind of meaningful, and if you want to upload it to a place that, you know, you kind of have more control over, you have quite a couple, you have a lot of options. Now, you know, you could upload it to Reddit. You could upload it to Reddit. You could do that. Reddit is a place that can let you upload art. I don't know if they have any place as far as like, you know, as far as like, you know, stuff going on with that, you know. Let me see here. You can, you know, upload like r/art, you know, as long as it's like, you know, AI free subreddit, you know, you can upload your art there and it should be fine. But it's not the best place to upload your art. The best place to upload your art is likely Newgrounds. Newgrounds is a place that is curated by artists, for artists, and animators too. They are, if anything, exactly the best place to upload your art. Period. This is probably the best place to do it. Speedaru's on there. You know, Suction Cup Man, like all this stuff here. You know, it's all available to you. It is very anti-AI, which I like. You know, you can upload your art to your heart's content. I would say DeviantArt. DeviantArt is also another place you could possibly upload your stuff. But I don't know what's going on with DeviantArt lately, and I think actually don't upload it to DeviantArt. Never mind. Anyways, there's a better place though than DeviantArt. There's called VGen. So VGen, believe it or not, is a good place to upload your art. Not only that, you can also get yourself commissions for doing that as well. So, you know, if you upload your art and you do showcases, you know, there's plenty of things to showcase, plenty of things to show off, you know, plenty of stuff to do here. They are very anti-AI. And furthermore, if you want something a little more personal to you, if you want something super personal to you, you could do something like creating a NeoCities website. And this is probably, outside of Newgrounds, this is probably the best thing you can do. You can create a text file that prevents robots from scraping your art from your website. You could do a whole bunch of things with HTML if you're willing to learn how to do, you know, art. And willing to do how to, like, you know, with website design. And, you know, I do have resources in my guide on how you can, like, get web editors to edit your art correctly. Now, what I would recommend doing is I would recommend, you know, trying it out. Because, you know, if you can go on these websites, and NeoCities is basically a birth of, you know, basically what ends up happening whenever GeoCities ended up shutting down. This is its spiritual successor. You can click on sites and they have their own art. They have their own designs. They have everything, and you can make it even better. Like lately, you know, when I'm, you know, messing with my website, right, I'm going to probably have art on here. I already do have art on here. Technically, I have my entire, you know, I have some models on here, and I'll probably have more models on here later after I fix a couple things on my own. I need to fix that as well. I also have some art on my own blog as well. So, you know, I have it to where I have set up art to show up on here, and you could do this, you know, to your heart's content as well. And it's a really good thing to do. But yeah, I mean, it's just what I would recommend doing. Like the best options you have out of everything, if you were to really boil it down, would be Newgrounds for uploading your art, VGen for uploading your art, plus you can probably get commissions for that. And NeoCities. NeoCities is probably the absolute best place you can upload your art to, because you can create things that prevent these bots from scraping your art. There's a thing called a robots.txt file. So if I go to edit and I go ahead and go to edit for here, it's going to prevent a lot of these bots from crawling your site, which prevents, you know, any AI bots, any Amazon bots, any Claude bots, and you can add more bots to this as well to prevent them from crawling your site. And if they can't crawl your site, then there's nothing that they can really realistically do. There's also a thing called Nightshade, which you can do that in tandem with your art that you upload to, you know, your website or Newgrounds or any place. And you can basically poison your art where it ends up protecting your copyright as well as preventing these bots from developing and using your art for malicious deeds, you know, to prevent people from like misusing your art. The other place is glaze. You can nightshade and glaze your art. You can do both. Now I think I might be wrong, but let's see here. Glaze art protection. Yep, there it is. You could nightshade and glaze your art. Glaze and nightshade. You know, you could do both. You could do both on their website. And they actually have both. So, I mean, it's the same team that's working on both. And you can use them both at the same time if you want to. So, like, it prevents people from having to worry about their copyright being mistreated by these big companies that don't give a fuck about them. Same thing with like how Microsoft is also trying to push AI to a lot of people. I've seen a lot of AI commercials lately. I mean, hopefully this bubble ends up popping because these big corporations especially don't give a fuck about anybody. They don't care what you upload. They just want your stuff to be uploaded to their servers so that they can train your art on their AI to create shitty art that is then used by corporations and can be seen as being stolen, which is a very, 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 very big issue. So hopefully, you know, if you had anything to take away from this, and Merry Christmas to you all. If you had anything to take away from this, I would at least absolutely recommend people understand that you need to start fighting for your own self. You need to start being able to protect your own stuff. And not only that, this is the only time I'll get political. There's a thing called Section 230. And if you're in America, that is basically determining whether or not you can upload videos to a platform without the platform getting sued over basically anybody's typical opinion. So, you know, you should probably call your representatives for that too. If you want to also protect your privacy rights, your art, your content, the stuff that gets uploaded. Like, yeah, there's the COSA and the Screen Act as well, but there's also like other things that are happening as well. In relation to that, like it's all a big conspiracy in my opinion, and I don't really want to get super far into it because it's going to sound stupid. But the main takeaway is protect your art, protect your privacy, call your representatives to also tell them that no, you don't want Section 230 to be repealed because that's going to cause a lot of issues on the internet from even existing. And yeah, hopefully people start to understand that these corporations just don't give a fuck about them. We're already seeing these problems with YouTube as well. YouTube is also causing a lot of issues for people where people's whole channels would end up getting shut down for no reason at all. And it's absolutely shitty to even have to even imagine or deal with. So what I would recommend doing is basically taking your content into your own hands. If you have to upload your videos to Odyssey, if you have to upload them to the PeerTube, if you have to create your own NAS to hold your videos, do that. Absolutely do that. Because eventually, you know, we're going to hit a certain point in the internet where people's stuff's going to be taken down for no reason. That's going to be super unfair. It's already ruining people's lives right now. And we don't need companies like this continuing to fuck people over, especially when it comes to AI, especially when it comes to generative AI, especially when it comes to our privacy, especially when it also comes to our the overall content we upload online as well. So, take it from me, I'm doing everything that I can do in my own little situation. But at the same time, I don't really want people to get fucked over either, because I'm not one for, caring too much about what a big corporation thinks at this point. Because if they could fuck you over, they would fuck you over. And that's just basically the end of the day when it comes to that. But other than that, I hope you've had a good holiday. I didn't want to get too deep with this, but I did want to at least bring people's attention to it, because I've been seeing a lot of rounds on the internet talking about how Twitter is going to be misusing people's art copyrights, issues with, content creation in general with Section 230, and issues with just the overall big corporations is not giving a fuck about their people who they're even trying to rely on. Because what's going to end up happening when this whole AI bubble pops, right? When you start replacing people with AI, when you start creating these companies, how are you going to keep up, right? And eventually it's going to come to a head. This big pyramid scheme, it's going to come to a head, and it's going to completely blow up. And I hope it does. Anyways, if you want to catch me, I am probably streaming on Twitch tonight. This video will probably come out after Christmas, probably closer to my birthday. If you agreed with what I had to say, go ahead and put a comment. If you disagree with what I had to say, go ahead and put a comment. I am open to criticism. That is just how I am. But this is basically stuff that I needed to bring to people's attention, especially on the art front of things, and sort of on the Section 230 issue, because it's going to affect everybody, whether they believe it or not. It's going to affect VTubers, streamers, IRL streamers, people who you should do streaming as a hobby, people who've been recording videos for a long time. Section 230 is going to affect that. Generative AI, especially when you're having sites like Twitter start to appropriate your content into their machine to feed the beast, it's going to create even more issues for artists, because artists are already trying to fight against this bullshit. And I could only hope that we win, because I'm also an artist. I'm working on art. I have more art posted closer to my 2.0 whenever I decide to release it, which hopefully will be in a couple days. Considering if I finish it or not, at least with the line work. But I do want to make sure that everybody knows that my birthday is in a couple days, on the 29th, and I want people to be there. I will probably not get off work until around 8 p.m. But after that, I'll be on stream, and I'll be streaming probably Monster Hunter, probably some other game I normally play, maybe a different game, who knows. But I want to make sure people are at least able to see my stuff. So I know you all watch the stuff on YouTube, and that's fine. But I want to make sure people are at least aware of all these problems on the internet and how you could fix them. So, the TLDR of this video is upload your art don't upload your art to Twitter anymore. Upload it to other places. A small pivot to Section 230, because it's going to affect everybody, including the art that you upload to platforms. And it's all related, believe it or not. Anyways, I'll catch y'all later. This was made in good intentions anyways. And I hope you all have a good night. I will catch y'all later, and I will, I'll be around. Bye-bye.